Hi, I am Tasha Champion. I am a 37-year-old single mom of four. I've been divorced for about 5 years now. So, my story is a little bit different from most breast cancer survivors. My mom had breast cancer about 20 years ago now. Her aunt had it at the age of 29. I had some other family members that have it. So, at the urging of my mom's doctor, she said that she would need to be tested for BRCA, the breast cancer susceptibility gene. Um, Most people know it as the Angelina Jolie gene because, she made a lot of noise about it. The information came from her and things like that, just so that the world, the population would know what it was about. My mother got tested and she was positive. And so that led me and my three sisters to be tested as well. And yes, all of us were positive. So when you're positive, you have a couple of different options. You can either have prophylactic surgery, which is to have a double mastectomy and reconstructive breast surgery to reduce your risk. You can also have all of your reproductive organs removed, the uterus, the cervix, ovaries, and fallopian tubes. And that when you have that surgery, it helps to reduce your risk of breast cancer. But when you're BRCA positive, you also still need to think about the double mastectomy. Already having had kids, I decided that the route to go was to have everything removed. It was a hard decision, but at the same time, it's like I watched my mom go through breast cancer. I don't want my children to have to do that with me. And so all of us decided that this was the best road for us to take. And we started doing our surgeries, and they were just back to back, back to back. Um, the first surgery I had was the full hysterectomy, and that was in December of 2015. That surgery was fine, no problems, no pain. I was off work for a few weeks, and then I was back at work for 2 weeks before I had my double mastectomy. Now, my oldest sister, she had a double mastectomy 2 weeks before me. During her surgery, they found a tumor that tested positive for cancer. 2 weeks later, I had the same surgery, and the exact same thing happened. During my surgery, a tumor was found that was tested positive for cancer. She and I had both had mammograms within 6 months of our PBMs, the prophylactic breast mastectomies. And so it was almost like heartwarming that we are BRCA positive because the mammograms didn't catch the cancer. But having had the double mastectomy, that did. So with that, I'm more grateful that I'm BRCA positive because without that surgery, I wouldn't have had another mastectomy for another 6 months. And being that the breast cancer that was found was triple negative, one of the most aggressive forms, it's very, very likely that cancer would have had time to spread. For my sister, it had already spread to one of her lymph nodes. For me, it had not. So the next phase of that, although the cancer was found and removed at the same time, we still had to go through chemotherapy just because it was the triple negative breast cancer. And this is all while still going through the reconstructive part of having the expanders and expanding, preparing for implants. So we went through chemo. I had 4 rounds of 2 different types, whereas my sister had 4 rounds and then an additional 12 rounds again because hers had started to spread. As I was speaking with the oncology case manager, she's the one that would sit down and talk to me about what to expect from chemo, some of the side effects and things like that. I just quietly would say to myself, not on my body, because chemo is known to really take you through some tough things. And I just didn't want to anticipate all of that on myself. And so everything that she said, I just said not on my body. The first round of chemo was pretty hard. I've never had any vomiting, nausea, diarrhea, loss of appetite. The only thing I had was loss of taste buds. But it made my body feel like I had the flu. Like I just laid down, and this was like day 3, 4, and 5 after the chemo, and then by day 6 it was like nothing had ever happened. my children, again, being a single mom, it was me and my children. So my children, I have a daughter and 3 sons, they became my caregivers. They became my doctors, my nurses. They became my voice. They became my media, in the fact that they would let other people know like how I was doing and everything when I didn't want to talk. And without them, I could have never, ever, ever gotten through it. They were so supportive. Even when I had the surgery, my sons painted one of their nails pink and went to school, and they didn't care about what other kids thought. They knew that they were supporting their mom. The second round of chemo, it was okay. I was better. By the third round, I was still okay. But the Neupogen shots, that was kicking my butt, and it started to really put a lot of pressure on my legs and my arms. And there were several times that I collapsed. And out of everything that I've gone through, the surgeries, hearing the cancer diagnosis, knowing I had to go through chemo, none of that compared to having to have my children pick me up off the floor and carry me back to my bedroom. That was probably the only thing that made me break down and cry in gratitude and guilt. Like, these are my babies, and they're actually carrying me as if I'm the baby. But then grateful that my children are this strong. Our last name is Champion, and they truly are champions. My kids are absolutely awesome for what they've gone through. Since then, it's been a whirlwind of beautiful blessings going through this. I never thought in a million years that I would go out into the world and share my story and talk to women about making sure they have their checkups, making sure they know their family history, understanding their bodies, not being afraid to go to the doctor. I lost one cousin because she waited too late to go to the doctor. She knew something was wrong, but she was afraid. And I lost another family member because it took her, she went from stage 1 to stage 4 in 6 weeks, and she didn't tell anybody until it was really too late. So we didn't have time to comfort her, to pray with her, to support her, because she dealt with it alone. So one of the main things that I talk about is not going through this by yourself. You really, really need to have support. You need to have someone there to love you, to pray with you, to talk to you, because other than that, you think about it all day. When we wake up, cancer crosses our mind every single day, several times a day, maybe all day. So just having that comfort of someone else to talk to you, to laugh with you, that gets your mind off of it. And it's really, really, really important. I had friends that drove 2 hours to just come stay at my house, to spend the night with me, to stay all day, just to laugh. I had very supportive co-workers. I can honestly say this, while this is something that definitely is not the best time of life because it's difficult, I can honestly say it woke me up to so much more greater things. It woke me up to so much more beautiful things. It woke me up to just be in the moment a lot, not take anything for granted, to admire the sun, admire the flowers, admire the dry desert here, not seeing grass, admiring the mountains. You just see things in a more beautiful way. And I think it's really important. I wish people would see those things before something happens, but a lot of times it takes something like this for you to just pause and say, I'm really grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be able to walk and just be in that moment and be present. So when I go out into the world and I share my story and I speak about it, I always encourage women, mostly because that's who I talk to a lot, but I just encourage people, stand in gratitude, take care of yourself, take care of your health, and talk to your family members. Don't be so secretive about what you're going through, because it's really important for your family to know, so that 1, they can help you, or 2, they might be able to tell you maybe someone else in the family also experienced that, and now maybe you have a history or there's a link that you can talk to your doctor about. So I'm not mad that I went through this. I was diagnosed the day before my 36th birthday, so I'm not upset. I've actually emerged so much more spiritually aware, so much more grounded. Because my kids went through it, they actually are more grounded. They get to understand what other kids go through. It's been a bigger blessing than it has been heartache. And so I really don't have anything negative to say about it. I'm so glad and honored that I get to work with women now. I call them breast buddies because when patients are diagnosed, I sometimes get phone calls or text messages from other people that say, hey, can you talk to my friend who just got diagnosed? That is probably the most heartfelt, honorable feeling I could ever feel, is that someone would trust me to inspire someone else as they go through what I've been through. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. And so even later today, I'm going to go with someone that's going to have surgery soon and go to her doctor's appointment and be there to support her. Those are honorable things for me. Like, I honor every bit of it. It's such a reward.